Mr. Sawhit, you sell newspaper subscriptions. Is this correct?
Oh, yes, newspapers, yes.
Mr. Sawhit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder.
I was going door to door, selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her, lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1:00 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there.
Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that.
Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working?
Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building.
Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout?
Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sawhit used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal.
Now, Mr. Wright.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
You may begin your cross-examination.
Cross-examination, Your Honor?
All right, Wright. This is it. The real deal.
What exactly am I supposed to do?
Why, you expose the lies in the testimony the witness just gave.
Lies? What? He was lying?
Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty?
How do I prove he's not?
You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face.
Okay.
I was going door to door, selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her, lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1:00 p.m.
Objection! You found the body at 1 p.m. You're sure?
Yes, it was 1:00 p.m. for certain.
Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at sometime after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap?
Oh, that.
Objection! This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time.
After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sawhit, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.?
Gee, that's a really good question.
Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart.
Wait, I remember now.
Would you care to give your testimony again?
You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1:00 p.m. Terribly sorry for the misunderstanding.
Objection! Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video.
Yeah, well,
The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawhit?
no, I find it quite puzzling myself, quite. Aha! Wait, I remember now.
Mr. Sawhit? The court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught.
Yeah, my apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock at finding the body.
Very well, Mr. Sawhit. Let's hear your testimony once more, please.
Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw.
Objection! Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock, it was this statue. And now how is this supposed to be a clock?
What? You? With your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are?
Just answer the question, Mr. Sawhit.
Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes, Mr. Payne?
as the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch, you just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies.
I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness testimony was correct. This is a clock.
Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction.
Indeed.
You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder.
Ah! Oh yeah? Prove it. Prove I went in there.
I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard.
Order in the court! Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawhit, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain of the time.
Objection! What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture.
Baseless? Just look at the witness's face.
Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock?
That day, I never... Look, the clock. I saw... Shut up! I hate you! It was him, I tell you. I saw him. He killed her, and he should burn! Burn! Give him death!
Order! Order in the court, I say!
Your Honor, a moment please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims.
Mr. Wright!
Your Honor?
You claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. The sound Mr. Sawhit heard was definitely this clock. Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully.
I think it's 8:25.